Now, I love the kids, and I hope that all of our young youth have a bright and prosperous future. But Brandon, is Kevin really worth ruining your life over? Because he got you into all of these predicaments, and your life is feeling pretty shitty right now. Hey everyone, it's Sharona from Pay or Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Shy, episode 4, Quaking Grass. And basically the episode opens up from kind of where we left off, but maybe like a couple of more seconds fast forwarded to you see that Ronnie has been shot. We do not know who has shot Ronnie yet, and then this episode kind of goes back and forth between current events and kind of the backstory of like what happened, how did Ronnie get shot, and who shot him. And so you see that everyone flees the scene. You see Ronnie's basically walking around bloody, and he makes it to his grandmother's house. And his grandmother, I guess she doesn't hear him. Maybe she's sleeping, so she doesn't hear him coming to the house. And he's bloody, and I'm like, yes, Ronnie about to die, because he had it coming for a minute now. But then he just passes out, and then you realize the next morning when his grandmother finds him that he's still alive, barely hanging on, but he's still there. And she calls her nurse to come and help take care of her grandson. And I was like, Grandma, why you so rude though? Like, obviously you need her to come do you a favor, take care of your grandson, and you would think that you would be a little bit nice trying to get her to do something for you. But she like still cursing at her, being rude. Toronto. Like, you got to figure out whatever is like going on. And I'm just like, wow. But when she tells her like, our like sons are all we got, and she goes through like, if I call the police, they just gonna lock him up in jail, and like he's gonna be lost forever. And so like I really felt, when she said that, and even though she's rude, she appreciated her helping save her son. But I hope that she doesn't get fired at her job at work, because you saw when the dude was like, hey, what you doing? Where are those supplies going? Like, make sure you sign everything out. So now that there's a log, so I don't know, if this will come back to bite her in the behind like a couple of episodes later. But I really hope not, because she was really just trying to do, a good thing, especially like as she sees like this is just another person caring about, their blood. And so you see, then it goes back to, you see Kevin's really shaken up after what happened, seeing that Ronnie's been shot. So Brandon basically tells him like, hey, take your shirt off, let's wash the blood off. I don't know what you thought that little water was about to do. Clearly wasn't washing the blood off, but I was just like, okay, I'll go with it. And then you see he goes home, and his sister, Keisha, she ride or die for her brother, even though he had to like blackmail her to get her to help him. But it's still okay. I'm loving the bond of, siblings. So she helps take care of him, and then Brandon is walking home, and then he gets pulled over by the cops, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna go to jail. Not Brandon. And then you see that the officer like, hey, who you rolling with? Brandon like, what are you talking about? And he's like, where are you coming from? He's like, I'm coming from work. And it's like, where you work? And he said the restaurant he worked in there, like, yeah, right. And then he basically ends up getting himself from being arrested because he hooks the officer up with some reservations. Man, if only that could work like for everybody when they get pulled over by the cops. So Brandon goes home. Then you see that when Brandon wakes up, Jerica found a gun in his bag. And so Jerica's like, get the hell out of my house. Like, I told you, I didn't want no thug. Like, none of that. So she kicks him out. He goes to his mother's house. And basically he's like, hey, I got to stay with you for like a little bit. And his mom was like, okay, I knew it wasn't going to work out with you and that little Jack and Jill girl. I don't know why she hates this girl so much, but yes. And he basically takes over his younger brother Coogie's room, who was murdered in the first episode. And his do I call him stepdad? Kind of stepdad, like step boyfriend. I don't know. But I was just like, you real comfortable in this house? And when he told him don't touch his yogurt, I was just like, okay, but for real though, don't you hate when people come visit and they be eating your food? So I felt him with that. But I was just like, when he told them, when his mom told him like, hey, you coming home for dinner? We making pork chops tonight. And he was like, nah, we're going to have spaghetti instead. And he was like, you can't be letting them be all comfortable, eating good home cooked meals. Then he ain't gonna never want to leave. And I was just like, he is too much, but I can't take it. But he had a point. Okay, so then you kind of cut to, you see that Detective Cruz, like his little colleague ain't ish. And I knew he was dirty, okay? I knew he was dirty from the moment that I laid eyes on him, okay? And so he's kind of closing in on Cruz like, hey, just let me know you messed up. Like, I know you I didn't know that Ronnie was your CI. Like, so clearly you had to have told Ronnie, like, hey, we got this person in custody for, like, your son's death. And, basically putting two and two together like you told him. And then he went and killed old dude. And so then later in the episode, you see that cop was talking to, I don't know his name, but it's the one that Reggie is under, that runs like the whole little operation that Q was talking to last episode. And I was like, I knew that they had something to do with this kid's death. So I'm really interested to see like how that storyline plays out, and when they kind of get into the events of how the police and kind of like Reggie's boss, because I don't remember his name, I'm sorry, how they're kind of intertwining everything that happened with Jason's murder. And so basically, then you see that, let's get to the kids. We'll talk about the kids. We're going to talk about the kids. Okay, so Kevin's crush invites him to like a little house party. Like, my parents going to be gone so you can come over. I'm like, who leaves their little kid at home by themselves? Like, are they just gone for the afternoon? Are they gone for like till the next morning? I don't know. I have yet to see most of the kids' parents, so I'm just a little concerned about who's watching them at all times. And so you see them go over there, but Jake is bothering Kevin because you saw that like Jake's crazy brother Reggie was like, look, I know you took my gun, like where's my gun? So then you find out that Jake gave Kevin a gun, and so we're assuming that gun shot Ronnie, but we still don't know who shot him. And so Kevin goes to Brandon like, yo, I need that gun back, like real talk. And then so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get it. So Brandon goes get the gun. Obviously, shocker, the gun was missing, okay? And his ain't-ish stepdaddy, step-boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, he took the gun, got rid of it, and he was like, yo, this is my house. You don't bring no guns in my house. And I was like, but sir, are you paying bills? Because last episode, they said that, Brandon and his mama 50-50 own the house. So I'm just kind of confused as to what rules you regulating up in here, what bills you pay, how this is your house, when if the house sells, like Brandon's going to get half the money. So I was just like really confused for a moment. I was just like, okay. But yeah, so Brandon leaves, he goes back and tells like Jake and Kevin like, hey, I don't have a gun. Like, whose gun was it? Let me go talk to him. He like, yo, you don't want to do that. And I'm really confused because it's like, Brandon, were you raised in a different neighborhood or something? Or like, did your mother move to this neighborhood after you were already out of the house? Because the fact that you don't understand how things work, you don't understand that like people are crazy in this neighborhood and who's like running what, I'm just really confused. I just really need to know more into like how Brandon grew up, if he even grew up in this neighborhood, because I just don't understand like why he's so soft or not. Yeah, he's soft. I ain't even gonna take that back. But why is he so clueless as to what is happening in this neighborhood, like the violence and stuff? I'm just really confused about that. So he goes and meets up with Reggie, crazy behind, and Reggie was just like, hey, why are you up in here? Who are you? And he's like, yo, your brother told me that, I had something that was yours. I just want to let you know I don't have it no more. But how can we make this work? Like, I got money. And he was like, nah, now you owe me a favor. He was like, but what's your credit score looking like? Is it above a 720? He was like, yeah, so. And I was just like, but how he owe you and you just met him? I was just confused about that. Like, clearly Reggie just feels the entire world owes him something. I don't understand. I don't get it. And so, he lets him go on about his day, but then Jake has to answer for him taking the gun. He was like, you thought just because you brought old dude and because he fessed up to everything that you wasn't going to have to pay for this? And then so now he was like, since you want to take guns and stuff, now you owe me and you're going to be a shooter. And I was like, Reggie, what kind of older brother are you? Like, why do you want your younger brother in this lifestyle? And then he was like, you gonna do this for life. Like, this ain't no, you do it for 6 months or do it for a year, 2 years, and then, you cool. No, this is for life. So I was just like, damn. But riddle me this, Reggie. Why you got an inflatable pool in the middle of a living room, like at a house party, okay? And then you naked in the pool, in the living room, in the middle of a house party. I was just really confused about that. Like, whose idea was like, hey y'all, instead of getting a pool outside, since we sell drugs and stuff, obviously we got the money. We don't need that. We just gonna put a little pool in the living room. Like, how did y'all fill that up? How did no water spill on the floor? Like, the floor is not messed up. And then, like, how you know, getting inflatable pools in the living room, but you putting lean, like, in baby bottles. Like, y'all don't want to come up with better packaging for your products. I'm just saying, like, at least invest in your business. So I was really thrown off by that. And I really don't like Reggie. Like, I really can't stand Reggie because he's just a horrible brother. And I want to know, like, where are their parents? Like, are their parents not around? Like, is it just, you know, Reggie who takes care of Jake? I just need to know what more of these, like, parental figures are, because I'm, like, very, very concerned for these kids. So we kind of get to, like, the end of the episode, and then it shows, like, hey, you know, obviously we knew, because we knew Kevin shot him, because after we got the details that Jake gave Kevin the gun, we knew that it had to be Kevin who shot Ronnie in the first place, which kind of shows the reaction that Kevin had, like, in the beginning of the episode. And so I just, like, why can't Ronnie just die? Y'all didn't kill everybody else I liked on the show. I don't understand why you can't get rid of the one person that nobody can stand at all. Like, Ronnie has to die. And for some reason, like, that's not happening, and it doesn't seem like it's happening. Hell, y'all even had, like, Ronnie, how you looking dapper after you just got shot? Like, you know, when Cruz came back, so Cruz came to the grandma's house to look for Ronnie, because he's trying to, like, cover up his ends, and he sees the blood on the wall, he sees the bloody sheets, but Ronnie not there, and then Grandma pulled that gun out. That's why, Grandma, you the MVP of this episode, okay? Because you crazy, and when Ronnie was dying, and you told him to hush because your shows was on, that's something Grandma would do. I remember I tried to talk during Young and the Restless one time, and my grandma told my parents she can't come back during the day because she interrupted my soap opera. So I was like, that was real, but, like, your grandbaby in the room dying and you still watching your programs. I can't. But you the MVP. You entertained me this week. And so I'm interested just to see, like, I appreciate Brandon trying to help save Kevin's innocence. Like, I get it. Brandon's a good dude. And I think maybe he kind of is protecting Kevin. Even though Kevin set him up, Kevin shot a dude, got him kicked out of the house with Jerica and all of that. And it's just like, maybe this is his redemption because he felt like he couldn't save his little brother. So maybe that's why he's letting Kevin just ruin his life and taking up for him with all the crazy and stupid decisions that Kevin makes. I appreciate it, but I don't at the same time. I'm just like, bruh, like, leave this little kid alone, because he's not causing anything but just a headache for you. I don't get it. And last but not least, Jerica, okay? Because we were rooting for you, okay? You wanted more out of your boyfriend. But, ma'am, you do not snitch on your man to your girlfriends who have no loyalty to your man. Why did you feel so comfortable saying, yeah, you know, Kevin had a gun and stuff like that? And I was just like, who says that? Like, you basically implicating him. What if one of them go talk? What if they go to the police? I was just like, you didn't even let Brandon tell you the story in the first place. You still don't even know what happened. I was just like, Jerica, you out of line for that. Like, that's not okay at all. Stop. We don't pillow talk to, like, girlfriends about stuff like that, okay? If you wanted to kick him out, that's fine, but at least wait till you get the full story before you go running your mouth, and then it's still not okay. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode. I definitely need to see more of Common, okay? That little glimpse, that wasn't enough for me to hold me over to next week, so I really want you to, like, give me more, and I really hope that by the end of next week's episode, Ronnie is dead, and I would like to at least see one of, like, Jake's parents to, like, let me know that he might be okay, because Reggie being in control of his life it's just not right. It's not right. But my name is Sharana from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I will see you soon.